Hi, I'm Dr. Andreas Michaelitis, Chief Psychologist at Noom. This past year has shown us how important our overall health is, and Noom is here to help. Most weight loss plans fall short because they don't provide lasting results. But at Noom, our psychology-driven approach is designed to help you change your relationship with food. Changing the way you eat starts with your mind, and Noom gives you the tools you need to succeed on your terms. Sign up now and lose the weight for good at Noom.com. That's Noom.com.
M to the MuggleCast, episode 29 for February 26, 2006. GoDaddy hosting plans are now more powerful than ever. Best of all, plans start at just $3.95 per month. And no matter what plan you choose, your site receives 24/7 maintenance and protection in the GoDaddy.com world-class data center. I use them for my personal website, AndrewSims.com, and I know that GoDaddy has some of the best affordable hosting plans online. I recommend you use them for your upcoming website or podcast, because as a MuggleCast listener, enter the code MUGGLE, that's MUGGLE, when you check out and save an additional 10% on any order. Get your piece of the internet today at GoDaddy.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Ben Chang.
I'm Eric Sculf.
And I'm Micah Tannenbaum.
And of course, this is the show where we bring you the latest in Harry Potter news, theories, and now Ben fighting childhood obesity. Isn't that right, Ben?
Yes, folks. I am fighting childhood obesity. See, I'm starting here on a personal level. Lately, I've been, as I step on the scale, it's going the wrong way. It's going up, and I decided, enough. I have had enough. So I'm making a turnaround. We're going back the other way.
We're proud of you, Ben. That's.
See, the MuggleCast, lately we've become so diversified. It's not even funny anymore. We're doing so many things these days,
Okay.
Fighting childhood obesity, saving the world.
Yeah. Right.
So now everybody, we have to ask that the fans now send Nutri-Grain bars to the P.O. box instead of cookies, because Ben's trying to cut back.
Seriously, send me. Yes, please send me some energy bars, some power bars. Please, I will love anyone who sends me power bars. Start a campaign. Ben Shane losing weight.
Okay, quick, Micah Tannenbaum. Before the music runs out, Ben's taking up all the time on this awesome theme song. Update us with the past week's top Harry Potter news stories.
All right, Andrew, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire has accumulated over $600 million in international box office sales, making it the fifth highest grossing film outside North America. It ranks only behind Titanic, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Sorcerer's Stone, and Chamber of Secrets. With North American ticket sales included, Goblet of Fire has earned a total of $888 million and is 8th on the list of the top films of all time. That's a lot of 8s. Speaking of the fourth film, the results are in for this year's BAFTAs, and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire won the award for Best Production Design. The fourth movie was also nominated in the categories of Best Makeup and Hair and Best Achievement in Special Visual Effects. Goblet of Fire also won the Best Film Award at the 2006 NMEs, and Jarvis Cocker, who played the Weird Sisters' lead singer at the Yule Ball in the movie, was in attendance to pick up the award. Moving to Half-Blood Prince, the sixth Harry Potter book has been nominated for the W.H. Smith Book of the Year Award. The awards, which have been running annually for the past 17 years, will take place in London on March 29th. Order of the Phoenix won the award in 2004, and we hope Half-Blood Prince will be just as lucky. The Spanish version of Half-Blood Prince was released to fans this past Wednesday. At Tuesday's Bookade International auction in London, Dan Radcliffe's mother, Marcia Gresham, bought, on the actor's behalf, Joe Rowling's handwritten Black Family Tree for £30,000. Marcia also purchased a Tom Stoppard play and a piece of writing by Ian Banks. Dan's mother had this to say: "This should put paid to anyone who says that Daniel doesn't like reading. Daniel hasn't stopped since he read the first Harry Potter book, and he loves Ian Banks and Tom Stoppard." The charity, which provides books for African schools, was delighted to raise a total of £63,000. The Sunday Mail had an article last weekend with more information on J.K. Rowling's upcoming charity ball and auction in aid of MS Scotland. Joe has apparently put Trainspotting star Robert Carlyle in charge of running the show. All 250 tickets for the event, costing £250 apiece, have already sold out, and the Society hopes to raise more than last year's haul of £300,000. Finally, ExpectoPatronum.com has received 2 photos from the Order of the Phoenix filming area. In these pictures, you'll see, get ready for this is big, Hagrid's hut, which was clearly under construction at the time these were taken. You can check these photos out over on MuggleNet.com. I'm just interested in why they're rebuilding a hut that's already been in 4 movies, but hey, I'm just looking out for you financially. When you can't afford that extra owl, don't say I didn't warn you. But wrapping it up, Alan Rickman will return to England in April in order to film Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. That's all the news for this February 26th, 2006 edition of MuggleCast. Back to the show.
Okay, thank you, Micah. Let's get to a few announcements. Ben, I just can't get over how you're fighting childhood obesity. It really,
I know.
I'm just so proud of you. I can't even.
I know.
Words cannot comprehend.
Brings a tear to my eye.
You should sell that George Foreman grill on eBay for MuggleCast listeners.
Yeah.
Ben's George.
Buy Ben Shane's George Foreman grill. Hey, if you're interested in buying my George Foreman grill, used by Ben Shane, the Ben Shane, he's cooked many hamburgers on it. Email me.
Ben's Burger.
I thought I was going to get it. First, let's check up on a few announcements, MuggleCast announcements. We just want to update you on a theory last week concerning McGonagall as headmistress, and we weren't exactly sure whether she would become headmistress now that Dumbledore is dead in Book 7. And as it turns out, on page 51 of Sorcerer's Stone, McGonagall signs her letter to Harry as Deputy Headmistress, meaning she acts as, and as I quote from dictionary.com, an assistant exercising full authority in the absence of his or her superior and equal authority in emergencies, which suits her perfectly for becoming headmaster or headmistress of Hogwarts School.
Plus, she was in charge when Dumbledore left in Book 2.
Yes, correct. So thanks to Kevin Duncan for pointing that out to us in an email. See what happens when you guys email us? You get plugged on the show.
Okay, folks, we have some more announcements here. Everyone needs to buy a MuggleCast t-shirt.
Ben, why would everyone have to buy a MuggleCast t-shirt?
Well, for several reasons, Andrew. It helps support the show. And they're just so fashionable that I bought 12 of them last week. I mean, they're just that great. So, everyone buy a MuggleCast t-shirt, okay? They come in 2 designs of a multitude of sizes, and even one design even has silhouettes of each MuggleCaster. So that's
Ben,
my
you
favorite
stink
one.
at PR. Let
So
me
make sure
do
you
this.
buy a MuggleCast t-shirt.
Let me do this, please. Okay, these MuggleCast
no,
t-shirts
hold on,
are made
hold
out.
on.
No. These
I wanna hear
I
it.
insist.
There.
I insist. These MuggleCast t-shirts are made out of a special synthetic fabric, and in like 1 year, there's going to be something big that happens, and all the clothing in the entire world is going to deteriorate, and all we're going to have left is these MuggleCast t-shirts.
Wow.
So if you want clothing, buy a MuggleCast t-shirt. Buy it like it's the only
To save
MuggleCast
yourself in
t-shirts.
2007.
Buy it like there's nothing left.
But also, visit MuggleCast.com, click on the store tab, and it'll take you to where you can purchase a shirt. You can purchase it through PayPal, so no worries there. But also, in addition to that, if you don't want a MuggleCast t-shirt itself, you can buy a shirt for MuggleNet. So visit MuggleNet.com. You can click off to the right there. You'll see a flashing image that says MuggleNet t-shirts. Get yours. So you can buy one of those.
Okay, now moving on to some news discussion. It was a semi-busy week, right, Micah Tan?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you're our head news monkey.
I haven't
you gotta
looked at
give me the.
MuggleNet.com once this week.
Oh, what a great news reporter
Whoa.
you are.
Not even when compiling your news, Micah?
Hey, you aren't supposed to tell people you steal your news from Leaky.
I haven't compiled my news yet.
I know.
Not to date.
What?
the
You
show
just
or
said it. Stop ruining the magic behind MuggleCast. Gosh. So apparently even Micah Tannenbaum does not know that this really surprised me. Mrs. Radcliffe, as it turned out, was the one who purchased the black family tree that was on auction earlier this week. There was so much speculation over who was going to buy it, and then people were thinking, well, are they going to share it with us? Now we know the answer is definitely no. But I'm just surprised. And then in a quote by her, she had said that this was to prove, not exactly to prove, but to show that Dan reads books.
And to prove that, she bought an Ian Banks and a Tom Stoppard works. But have you ever heard the rumor that Daniel hates to read?
No, I haven't. I don't know where she was getting that from.
And we work from I'm assuming she's not delusional. She is his mother and she's looking out for him. But really, I never heard that. I heard his eyes were blue, and, that's about the biggest insult I've heard for Dan Radcliffe. Evidently, there were people that said he couldn't read.
It's clearly a
didn't like to read.
conspiracy. I mean,
Yes.
Joe told her to go and buy it.
Oh yeah, I bet.
All kidding aside, I just don't understand why. I think it would be better left in the hands of a real fan, or I don't know. It's just a
I don't know.
surprise to me.
On the contrary, I kind of like it. I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world when I read that this afternoon. I got online. I was like, wow, that Mrs. Radcliffe had bought it. It kind of closes the connection between them as well, between the Radcliffes and J.K. Rowling. But what fascinated me was that it only went for, what, £30,000. And that's not actually... I mean, if this is as big as we think it is, and
That's how much I weigh.
£30,000, then I feel very bad for you.
Just kidding.
That's why you haven't been to the P.O. Box. Okay, anyway. So £30,000 is not a lot. And if this is supposed to reveal a lot that we think it reveals, it kind of went pretty cheap. I think, what surprises me is that nobody could have outbid Mrs. Rowling on this. Mrs. Radcliffe.
I would have been much happier seeing a fan get it. Although I don't know how many fans have £30,000 to go and spend on this kind of thing. It just seems...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's something better left in the hands of a fan, because, I mean, why does Dan Radcliffe need it?
Dan wants it just as much as the next fan, because he's just as big as a fan.
Well, I think that proves a point.
And then in other news, J.K. Rowling has updated her website, which she does not do as often as she used to. She updated her FAQ poll yesterday.
Dun dun dun.
Yes, well, it kind of... I was very disappointed.
At what, the question or the answer?
Especially the answer, because she has this fact poll that's on there for, a long time, and I don't know I forget what the other questions were, and I don't know by what margin this one won, but then JKR said, in the poll, and I quote this, hang on, JKR says, I was surprised that this question won because it's not the one that I had voted for. But hey, if this is what you want to know, then this is what you want to know. And now, first of all, she, there's a very big time period before she, answers these questions. And then she goes and practically, re-questions us. And she's like, well, I don't, this is not the one I would have chosen. And then she gives a one-paragraph answer. And says, when a secret keeper dies, their secret dies with them. To put it another way, the status of their secret will remain as it is, as it was at the moment of their death. Everybody in whom they confided. She answered it, and then repeated it 4 times, and then reiterated how the Fidelius charm works. And I really don't feel insulted, but the fact is, the answer to this question...
You feel like she copped out.
Well, Eric, this question isn't nearly as big as a letdown as... Who is Mark Evans? Mark Evans is nobody. You guys are stupid for choosing.
Well, I thought that was that was funny. That was a funny response. For the record, the other 2 questions for the poll were: Does the destruction of a Horcrux involve more than the destruction of a object? And the second question was: Why did Voldemort want the Philosopher's Stone if he already had his Horcruxes?
Hey, wait a minute. I'm on Joe's side now. Wait, this one won?
Yeah. To be
right.
honest,
I'm suddenly on Joe's side. Wait a minute here.
Yeah,
I think Lightmaker rigged the poll.
I'm.
Wait a minute. Wait, how could this question have won?
I'm more intrigued by the Secret Keeper question because the other 2. Does the destruction of a Horcrux involve more than the destruction of the? Well, okay, that question I'd be interested in.
I don't know. I would have chosen the other one. I think the Horcrux thing's obvious because Dumbledore's hand. Was all black from trying to destroy the ring, or at least that's what we infer from it. So, but, the secret charm, I think we already kind of could have figured out. I mean, as JK did say, could have figured it out that it just stays the same. It's not, revealed or anything. Otherwise...
Well, hindsight is 20/20 in this case.
Yeah.
After the fact, once we know what the answer is, we're really disappointed because, we could have known the answer to these 2 questions. But what if we had chosen one of the other ones that turned out to be something simple? Then we would have said, oh, man, we should have figured out what happened to the secret when the secret keeper dies.
Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate...
That's just what I think.
I appreciate that she went, and answered this, but at the same time, I'm disappointed that it got pretty much the answer that we could have figured out anyway, that it just dies with him, and then she repeated how it works. And, that's all good that she's at least re-clarifying herself, with herself, to figure out. but I think the fact poll needs to be answered a lot more frequently.
Yeah, but you know what? When you think about it, not many authors have a fan site where they answer the fans' questions and they discuss whatever we ask.
That's more than we can ask for, and forgive me if I've offended anybody too, because it is true. Just the fact that she updates and has this site, I don't want to hassle her for not updating, because she does. She's incredibly busy. She's writing book 7 right now,
We're not J.K. Rowling, but what if we tried to answer the other 2 questions?
Okay. What was the other one with B?
Hey, Andrew, we're not who? Hold on a second, Andrew, we're not
J.K. Rowling.
Okay, just
I
checking.
thought he said that.
I heard
No,
Rowling.
I have this New Jersey accent.
What was the third?
Rowling sounds like Rowling. It's hard. It's hard for me to fight. Well, why did Voldemort want the Philosopher's Stone if he already had his Horcruxes? Which is a good question. I would say as a backup system.
No, I'd say because he has to find a way to get his body back. Perhaps.
Well, what if all of his Horcruxes were blown up? Then what would he do? So that's why he needed the Sorcerer's Stone?
The thing is, I think with the fact poll, I voted on this a few months ago.
FAQ.
Okay, and if you want to tell me that it's not supposed to be
so
said,
let's stay on topic here. What?
Okay, I was going to say that I answered this I chose the Horcrux question a few months ago because I wanted to. I think JKR's, even if she gave us a half answer, she would have answered in a way that related to Voldemort's motivations, and those are going to be everything, and everything Voldemort wants to do. She could easily say, oh, well, he just needed a full body, but by saying that, she would, further continue the story of what happened while he was floating around in Horcruxes, and, he's looking for something to do for 13 years.
You're talking about the object question. Do you have to destroy the object?
No, I'm talking about the why he wanted the Philosopher's Stone, even if he had his Horcruxes. And I think, didn't we talk about this and say it was like quality of life or something?
Yeah, even immortality. I mean, that's what it gives him, and he's even the more stronger if he has the Sorcerer's Stone in addition to all of his Horcruxes.
Yeah, it's all about getting
Now
strong.
that I think about it, I think we already did answer question 2, or we've talked about it on previous shows. Does the destruction of a Horcrux involve more than the destruction of the object? I could have sworn we got a voicemail on that or something. Does anyone else remember?
Yeah, I think we determined it was a quality. I think we just mentioned that Dumbledore's black hand, like it was taking Dumbledore a little long time to. First of all, just to get to the Horcrux, at the end of the book, that was in the turned out to be the RAB pendant or whatever. Just to get to the Horcrux seemed to be a pain in the butt, more than it would be just to destroy anything else. So.
Yeah, and we saw the destruction of the diary in Chamber of Secrets, even though we didn't know it was a Horcrux at that point.
Actually, he just stuck a fang through that. That died. That thing broke pretty easily. I don't know. That's why that was what makes it a good question.
I hope fangs don't come back. Although, would be nice foreshadowing.
What about the rot?
Oh, dude, I see it now. Fang killed the Horcrux. Fang is going to kill the other Horcruxes. Fang, the dog. Oh yeah.
Yes, he's really. No.
He's really James Potter, actually. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to start that. I can see it now.
I'm looking through the J.K. Rowling section on MuggleNet.com, JKRowling.com info section. It's an excellent resource for everything JKRowling.com.
Yeah, Emerson did a really good job.
Absolutely. Wait, he did it? So I think we should, in future episodes, we should answer these runner-up questions. Benjamin Carl Shane, do you have another top 10 list for us this week? Remus Lupin style in celebration.
Yes, I do.
Our Remus Lupin.
Let's do this Lupin
discussion
style
this week.
Of course.
Hit us with it.
Here we go. The top 10 reasons to become a werewolf. Number 10, Snape will never disrespect you. Number 9, the ladies don't seem to mind. Number 8, you don't ever have to worry about cooking. Number 7, plenty of fresh air and exercise. Number 6, because animagi are just too boring. Number 5, your boss won't object when you take a few days off from work. Number 4, you never have to dress up for Halloween. Number 3, you never have to shave. Number 2, you're never forced to take strolls in the moonlight. And the number 1 reason to become a werewolf, you're guaranteed at least one wild night every month.
All right, thank you, Ben. Excellent top 10 list as usual. Now getting on to our main discussion of the week as promised. Remus Lupin. Let's read up on some quick information, courtesy the MuggleNet Encyclopedia. He's 37 years old, according to the official Harry Potter timeline. He was in the Gryffindor house, and Lupin is a werewolf, transforming during the full moon each month. The rest of the time, he is a kind, talented, and highly intelligent wizard. Remus has a mischievous streak that manifested itself during his years at Hogwarts, although he was the most restrained of the troublemaking marauders. He's also an expert on dark creatures and how to subdue them. He's a vital member of the Order of the Phoenix, and Lupin is undoubtedly powerfully magical. He's also loyal, hardworking, and self-sacrificing, but modest to the point of being self-deprecating.
Lupin cares for Harry, but is he a father figure like Sirius would have been? And will he be even more of a father figure and helping hand to Harry in Book 7? What do you guys think?
Well, in my eyes, I don't think Harry has one single father figure. He has a bunch of role models that he looks up to. I don't think there's just one person you can call a father figure. Well, I guess Lupin will sort of, he's all that Harry has left, really, besides the Weasleys, and you know, in terms of older males he can look up to, that's pretty much it.
Well, I think also at the stage it was in Book 3, he was most the father figure. I think that's right too, because Harry was figuring all that stuff out about his parents in Book 3, and Lupin was there kind of like, you know, to guide him and to lead him through this transition, you know, with the Dementors and dealing with his parents' death. And Lupin, I think, really connected to that because I guess this was the first time he'd seen Harry in at least 13 years, or at least 12 years. And that was also since, you know, like the last time he saw James and Lily, so he was very connected to that.
Yeah, and I think Lupin may even be more of a father figure than Sirius was. I think Sirius came across as more of a friend, because Sirius really saw James and Harry, and so he tried to make that connection a little bit more so.
So you're saying
than taking care of Harry.
You're saying Lupin is actually a better father figure because he sees Harry as Harry.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that works.
Well, Ben was saying earlier that he looks up to a lot of people, but I really don't think at this point he does anymore, because he's sort of a freelancer now. He doesn't exactly look up to anyone. He's on his own now, and I'm not just saying that from an observation standpoint, but I think he decided that he can't rely on people anymore.
I think really Harry had become independent, I think definitely during Book 5, when he was expecting everybody to fill him in.
It started with Sirius's death, because at that point he was really relying on Sirius, and then he died, and it just totally threw everything off for him.
Well, I think it actually happened before then, too, because Dumbledore, remember, was avoiding him all of Book 5, like, wouldn't even glance him in the eye. And, of course, Harry found out later that, you know, if he did, then Voldemort would have come out, whatever. Yeah, he was really ticked off in the beginning of Book 5 when nobody would fill him in. And remember, he ranted at, you know, Hermione and Ron about it. But he was becoming independent.
That's true. He had to.
Since then, you know, he's really... And the only reason he relied on Dumbledore in Book 6 was because Dumbledore was the only one who knew the most about Voldemort. So he developed that trust, but of course that went all to hell when Dumbledore died. So I think really he is his own person now.
Good point. I didn't think of that. I'd always thought it started with Sirius.
Lupin's course seemed to bring out the best in everyone. Remember, some people failed at different points, different types of monsters. The question is, remember, like, some people got stuck in the tires, other people got, I think it was Neville that got lost with the little creature that held the flashlight and lured him elsewhere. You know, like, different people got stuck at different places. What do you guys think that means?
It means that they couldn't excel in those different areas.
Well, yeah, everyone has their weaknesses, dude. Just like
but do you guys remember what they were?
Just like in school, some people are good at math and science, some people are good at reading. It all depends on who you are and what you're good at.
Lupin was teaching an entire subject. I mean, I guess at some points of math you can be bad, and some points you can not, but this was more hands-on. It's not exactly the same thing.
Just the name, Remus Lupin. Did you guys immediately realize when you first opened Prisoner of Azkaban and you got to the train scene that he was a werewolf? I mean, his name gives away a lot of information.
Yeah, Lupin is, well, not just Remus and Romulus, but yeah, Lupin and Lupine. I mean, anybody who's had any linguistic stuff should have gotten that right off the bat. That is one of the more obvious names. But I didn't know. I mean, I was like 14, so I didn't notice.
It must be a lot of fun for her to think about these names.
She has to have a lot of fun. Every time she introduces a new name, it's like a name I could not have thought of. You know, I think of like...
Well, she finds it through things like Greek mythology. It's not like she just sits there one day, Remus Lupin. Oh yeah,
yeah. She's sitting in her sitting room, right? And she's just sitting there going, and Neo walks in, and he looks at her and goes, "Mommy."
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or David walks in and goes, "Mommy," and she's just sitting there going,
Mommy was what Neil calls her on the
with
side.
a little pen. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to say it. But she's sitting there with a pen, and all of a sudden she shouts, "Remus Lupin!" and writes it down. She just shouts, "Remus Lupin!" and he's like, "Oh, that's the new..."
I think her strategy is that she has a Latin dictionary, and then she picks out a word that means something that would relate to the Harry Potter films, and then she changes
Moon.
two
Let's
letters
look
into
that
the word of the word.
We are forgetting, too, she taught Spanish. She taught English as a second language, didn't she? So she's got to know her English pretty darn well. You guys remember in the Shrieking Shack that Lupin described himself as like this self-conscious teenager? And he was even like, he was unsure of himself, basically, and he was all insecure and stuff. But then he said to Harry that all the Marauders became Animagi for him. Do you guys think that's like... Do you guys think that's like them? And why do you think they befriended him in the first place if he was... I mean, I like the fact that they like adventure, but why were they friends with Lupin in the first place? Because they didn't know he was a werewolf until afterwards, until they saw him sneaking off, having to excuse himself. But why Lupin? Why did they become friends? Why did they click? Do you think? And Lupin as a teenager being all self-conscious and stuff. James is clearly very arrogant. How would they fit together?
Yeah, and it just sort of... How did you become friends with your friends at school? I think everything just fell into place. That's how it happened. There's no... It just sort of happens. I mean, like...
Well, his meaning, is there any sort of connection or anything?
Well, they were all in Gryffindor.
Right.
Guys, what does the Wolfsbane potion do? Does it keep him in his own head? But, I think...
Yeah, it's just a psychological part, I'm pretty sure.
But he said... I think it was like... I think somebody corrected me on this. I mentioned it to him, and they said it was... him being with the Animagi in their animal form that kept him in his own head, but when he took the Polyjuice Potion, he was still kind of a wolf, but he didn't, transform. He just, got stuck in his office. But in addition to this, the Wolfsbane Potion, even though we don't know exactly what it does, Snape made it for him, and that was all what Lupin told Harry about how, he made it for him every month, and that's why he doesn't think Snape's a bad guy. I know we defend Snape a lot on this show, but I think it's important to bring up, too, every month like clockwork. Snape... It's interesting because Snape hated the Marauders enough to give Harry crap, yet he made the potion for Lupin anyway. So, is Snape only mad at James? And, what is the Wolfsbane potion? What does it do? Because I think at one point Lupin said when he was bitten, Lupin was referencing when he was bitten as a child... that was before the Wolfsbane potion, as if the Wolfsbane potion could have prevented that or something.
It's like when people get old and they start forgetting stuff.
No, that's Alzheimer's. Dementia is just any kind of crazy delusions. It can be forgetfulness, but it's also hallucinations, and if you imagine you're in, a different time or...
Okay, Dr. Skull. Thank you, Dr. Skull.
Eric, I think I remember reading somewhere, I don't know if it was an interview with J.K. Rowling or whatever, that it prevents dementia, which is the side effects of transforming into a werewolf. Now, why would Snape make this for Lupin? It could have been a favor he was returning, because I doubt Snape creates anything that would require Lupin to give him a favor.
I thought it was on Dumbledore's orders.
Yeah, it's kind of expected of him. He's a co-teacher. He would look bad if he were still holding this grudge. And Dumbledore already knew that Snape was giving Harry crap still, so I think it might have been overboard if he didn't. And Snape was probably the only one who could make the Wolfsbane potion. David Thewlis, beyond Hitler's stash. How good is he for the role? And will he change much to accommodate Order of the Phoenix? Now remember, the way he acted and the whole mustache thing, that's not necessarily tied to... It's not necessarily going to be in the fifth movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he might shave, he might act a little differently. I think he would be a little stupid if he kept the Hitler stash. It would be the fans would still complain about it.
Well,
I
wait a second. Doesn't Warner Brothers tell them what to do? Is it that big of a decision to shave your mustache?
There's people, though. There's fans who say, oh, David Thewlis sucked as Lupin. I hate that stash. And they, like, totally go on to diss his acting skills based on his mustache. Now, I thought he did a great acting job in Prisoner of Azkaban. Probably one of the best actors in that movie. One of the best performances. You know, he worked with what he had, and what he had was a stash, and everybody gives him crap about it.
I've never seen that crap about the stash. If the part requires him to look differently than he did in movie 3, then he's going to do it. He's not going to depress the fans by objecting to, you know, something as simple as a mustache.
David wanted his wife to play Tonks, and she was an actress, but then they went and cast somebody else. So what do you guys think about that? Like, I actually thought it might be cool if David's wife was Tonks, because she likes the books or whatever.
She's American.
Oh, she's American? Okay, never mind. Thank you.
There you go. Well, for people who don't know, Warner Brothers does not allow people from the U.S. Basically, if you don't have a British accent, you can forget about it.
And not even, if you don't have an authentic British accent, too, not like faked ones, because there's Americans, including me, who think they can fake one and really just doesn't. They don't do that. Plus, there's probably some kind of rights behind it. Okay, here's something that you guys are all going to comment on because it's a good topic. You know, in the Department of Mysteries, you know, Harry's all running after Sirius. Well, Sirius falls under the big freaking curtain. All right, didn't upset me at all. No, not at all. The big freaking curtain, right? So Harry runs after him, tries to jump in after him, but Lupin holds him back and says, "He's gone, Harry. You know, that's it." Now, when I first read this, I thought of two things. I thought either Lupin knows about the veil and what it does, so that he can actually make an informed decision and say, he's gone, Harry, because, you know, that thing kills you when you go into it. Or he was just saying, you know, he's gone, you know, that's it, to hold Harry back from jumping in, because he know that he, you know, if he didn't know what was in the veil, he wouldn't want Harry to go in there too.
Yeah, you make a good point here, Eric, that Lupin would have to know something about the veil in order for him to say definitively that Lupin is gone. I mean, that Sirius is gone.
Isn't it Luna also, when Harry talks to her, that says something about voices?
Yeah.
So, it's not, I mean, maybe she doesn't know specifically about the veil, but she has an idea about, you know, what happens to people.
I saw Lupin as the father figure just saying, you know, oh, he's gone, even if he didn't really know what was back there. You know, he had to say that to get Harry to stop, and I think that worked effectively. So I just want to know if you guys thought that he actually knew what was back there, or it was just, you know, a fatherly thing, you know, an instinct to get Harry away from it.
Yeah, it definitely could have been instinctual, if that's a word. But, yeah, he might have just thought that there was danger, and he thought first about protecting Harry more than anything else.
Just how hard is it, guys, do you think, to get a teaching job and respect as a werewolf, even with Wolfsbane potion? And, you know, because Lupin's all talking about, you know, his prejudice and how it's their parents wouldn't want the, you know, their teachers schooled by werewolves. But then what can werewolves do in the world besides go around, you know, underground and kill people? Like, can they get any professions?
You raise a good question, Eric. That's a good point, but I think it's kind of tough because it's not truly that. Like, once you actually get to know a werewolf, it's not like they're all bad people, you know. But of course, there's the negative people, the werewolves who actually do the bad things that get the primary focus for the entire group. So it's what creates the stereotype and what propagates it to the center of attention. You know, it's like many stereotypes we see in society. Things like all black people are thieves, and things like all Mexicans must be illegal. All Jewish people are rich, all things like that. And we continue to see these stereotypes, and that's just the same thing it is for a werewolf. And it's hard to overcome those stereotypes because it's just ingrained into society.
Ben brings up a point. Guys, things like goblins. What if they don't want to be bankers, but they're, you know, just because they're goblins, society tells them, oh, you have to be bankers? Same thing. They see how society treats them. They can't do what they want anymore. They can't become teachers, and it's not even their fault. So they just go and live as werewolves because that's what they.
Well, it all comes down to Is the glass half full?
No, it doesn't come
or
down
is the
to
glass
that.
half empty?
It doesn't really come down to that.
Yes, it does. It does. It does come down to that. It comes down to their whole perception. You're born a werewolf. Are you going to take it and say, well, I'll just evolve into the typical stereotype of werewolf and bite little babies? Or are you going to say, well, I'll also make the best of a situation that sucks and that life dealt me a bad hand of cards. I'll just deal with it, make the best of it.
Ben, you were saying the whole stereotyping thing. If a werewolf can prove himself as a good person or a good animal, then there would be no stereotyping to that one specific person. It's just like in the real world.
No, because not everyone knows. Not everyone knows Remus. So when they just hear, oh, a werewolf teaching my kids, it's not Remus Lupin is teaching my kids. A werewolf.
Unless Dumbledore
or
someone else high up that people already do respect can show the public that, yes, he can be trusted.
I agree.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, Andrew, because everyone thinks Dumbledore's crazy anyway.
Okay, then not...
Dumbledore's already done radical things. And by that same logic, Andrew, when Dumbledore said that, hey, Voldemort's back, then people would have believed him. The majority of people would have believed him.
I agree with Andrew. I agree with Andrew to a point, except for the fact that, the media was discrediting Dumbledore ever since, the beginning, and Fudge was too, because he didn't want to admit that he was weaker than Dumbledore. So there was no respect for Dumbledore. I think Dumbledore probably could have, if everybody respected him, tell him, hey, this werewolf's okay by me. I think even if there were people who sided with Dumbledore, like Hagrid, and people who really had reasons to, I think the majority would still probably fall back on whatever prejudice, like Ben mentioned, was that werewolves were dangerous people. But how hard is it to get a job? What job, okay, goblins have banker jobs where they're all in tunnels and stuff, and because they know math very well, and they can, steer a minecart. So what do you think werewolves could do? If there were a trade, like for werewolves, that society was okay with werewolves doing, what do you think it would be doing?
I don't think there's anything, because... like I said, they've been alienated, and they've just become this group where people don't want to have any involvement with them. I hate to. Here's a good parallel for you. Someone, like say a werewolf goes and gets a job, like Lupin did. Once they found out that he was a werewolf, then he was done and over with. And a parallel to that in American society is when someone gets a job and they find out that they have a different sexual orientation than everyone else, then they could face a lot of scrutiny for it and probably end up getting fired. And that's the same situation applies in terms of werewolves, because as long as their employer doesn't know they have this condition, and maybe if they get the right days off each month, then it'll be all right.
I don't know if it's to the point of getting fired unless your boss is really, really biased.
But in the case of a werewolf, you can be very, hazardous in certain. But even with the Wolf's Bane potion is a discovered potion. It's a discovered thing that makes this less harmful. So I think that werewolves would start being more accepted, in society.
Right, but how widely available is the Wolf's Bane potion, though?
Well, that's the question. Apparently, it's a real biatch to make, which is why Snape had to do it. So. I mean, it is comprehensive, so that is a good point.
I just think this JKR is compelled to put certain things in the books, and prejudice is one of them. It's just like when you're talking about the ministry, corruption, and government, this is just one of those things I think that she feels that she has to get across. And I don't know if we're taking it a little bit too far when we're talking about werewolves getting jobs. I think her whole idea behind this is just to show that prejudice exists even in this type of a setting.
I agree with that.
I think Joe Rowling adds prejudice into the stories because it adds an interesting angle where, from the reader's standpoint, you're going to be thinking, oh, come on, it's not fair, and you feel the emotion, sort of like with Umbridge. You get really angry at her. You get angry at these people who are doing exactly that. You're saying, oh, well, look at Lupin. He's being disregarded as some stupid, worthless animal.
And it points out more unfairness. I like
I hate this, but sound true.
Okay, the Whomping Willow guys. And this is what shocked me. This actually was an all-time high for on my Dumbledore meter, my Dumble meter. My Dumble meter was completely going off when I heard this. Dumbledore's tree, the Whomping Willow. That tree, Dumbledore willingly planted there to protect the students from Lupin. But actually, it's this very dangerous tree that almost killed Harry and Ron. This huge, dangerous tree that's on the school grounds, he put there just so Lupin could come and attend Hogwarts. Now, do you think that was a statement, like, to Dumbledore's, was it a testament to his own, oh, any student can come here? Or was that just complete absurdity that, he would even do that? But Dumbledore went through all this trouble just to get Remus to come to school. And what do you guys think about that?
Well, it shows that Dumbledore cares for every single student. I think it's as simple as that. Unless there's some specific reason that Dumbledore really wanted Lupin there, but what would it be?
He's Remus's father, obviously.
So many people try to make parallels between Dumbledore and insert HB character here. Like, everyone thinks every character is related to him.
Dumbledore is everyone's
Someone
father.
sent an email and said McGonagall was Dumbledore's daughter. I said, no.
Aww.
Yeah. McGonagall was an accident.
Lupin, guys, we found this out. He said this offhanded in Book 6. Lupin was bitten by Fenrir Greyback. That was such a character introduction. But doesn't Fenrir usually kill kids? And, why would Lupin have survived that?
What if he wanted Lupin to become a werewolf?
Yeah, but he was just a kid. He was a little baby when he got bit. He was 3. So how would he...
He did it to get back at Lupin's father.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Really?
So wouldn't it be more harmful to see a kid live
completely,
a life
but
as a
It's just like a slow, painful death compared to a
No,
quick
Mike,
one.
I agree with that, but that really happened?
Yep.
I completely forgot about that.
Eric, you're fired.
Where's the bobblehead?
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Oh, no. Not the bobblehead. No, not the bobblehead, please. I'll be good. I won't spiel for 3 minutes. Come on. Not the bobblehead.
So it would have been better to get back at him by just biting rather than killing, because
Yeah. No, I completely agree with
it's
that.
a long journey.
I just completely... I don't recall reading that at all, so thank you guys, because that's...
Someone tell me where it says that in the book. I'm confused. I don't remember that either.
Would you
I
like
don't know.
me
This
to?
is like...
Would you like
It's
me
like
to
a
go
weasel
get it?
otter... Yeah, get it, because this is like a weasel otter relation type
Alright,
thing,
hold
where
on
I'm
a
like,
second.
oh my god, Mike...
It says that he offended him. He offended Greyback. Lupin's father offended Greyback.
Oh,
And
well,
so
please find that.
Greyback bit
Please.
Lupin as a result.
Please, Micah, find that. That would be... Yeah, but no, guys, while Mike is finding that, what about Lupin's parents? He offended Greyback, but his parents still had to raise him, and I guess they really loved him and really had to care for him, but they had to search probably for a while to find Dumbledore. And what do you think his parents... What do you think his parenting was like, growing up? He was still a little self-conscious about his gift, but I think they encouraged him, still.
All right, I got the line, if you want.
Okay, Micah got it.
Okay.
That was fast.
Lupin paused and then said, "It was Greyback who bit me." And then what, Harry said, astonished. "When you were a kid, you mean?" "Yes, my father had offended him. I did not know for a very long time the identity of the werewolf who had attacked me. I even felt pity for him, thinking that he had no control, knowing by then how it felt to transform."
Oh, God, that's imagery. Micah, that's brilliant.
Chapter,
What page is that?
It's page 335 of the American edition. It's in
What
the
chapter?
Very Frosty Christmas.
So that wraps up this week's main discussion. Alright, a couple weeks ago, I announced to everyone our brand new MuggleCast contest, Create Your Own MuggleCast segment, and now it is time to reveal the winners. I'm here with Laura and Micah,
Hey.
segment judges extraordinaires, and they helped me judge the segments. What do you guys think overall of the entries as a whole?
I thought they were extremely creative. I was really blown away by some of them. Just some of the ideas you guys came up with. Really, props, everyone.
Yeah, I agree with Laura. Overall, things were pretty good. There were a few here and there that were a little disturbing, I guess would be the right word. But overall, good job, though.
I agree. And so now we have the 3 big winners. So actually we have the 5 big winners. And how this is going to work is we're going to air first place winner in a few moments. But then for the next 4 weeks after this show, we're going to air the runner-ups. Second place, third place, honorable mention, and then 5th place, if that makes sense. Honorable mention is basically 4th place. But they just missed out a 3rd, so it's sort of honorable mention. You see what I mean here? So first place of the Create Your Own MuggleCast segment contest goes to... Dun 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 dun. After this commercial break.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Don't you want to go third place to
GoDaddy.com is
first
your
place?
ultimate sponsor. What?
Don't you want to go third to first?
No.
You
No,
want-
I don't.
Okay.
Well, I don't.
It
No, how about this?
builds up
How about we don't
excitement.
reveal? How about we don't reveal the runners-up until the following weeks?
Ooh.
All right.
I think I can create some excitement, some...
Some tense moments. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll just do first place for this week. So first place winner goes to Anthony Trina with Order of the iPod with his friend Mike.
I really liked that one. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was really
Actually,
creative.
there's one point where I found myself laughing out loud, so that was really,
Yeah,
really good.
same. I was judging these while on my way to school and throughout school because instead of talking to real people, I listened to
Hey, I did
MuggleCast
the same
listeners
thing.
with
Or-
my life. Yes,
Or paying attention in class.
right. And well, I turned it off during class, but yeah, I was laughing out loud too. I had to hide my smile.
You're so much
Mike,
of a
what
better
did you think of
person
it?
than I am.
Oh, I
Because
enjoyed it. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I
Why,
interrupted
Laura?
you. Because I would get bored during school and I would put my school stuff away and judge the contest winners. So that's how faithful I am, that I actually put my school aside for you. Don't you love me?
Of course we do, Laura.
I wasn't
Micah,
talking to you.
why'd you like this segment so much? Order the iPod.
It was good. I thought the guy who played, whether he was playing Dan Radcliffe or playing, the fictional character, I thought he did a pretty good job of imitating
He
him.
did.
Yeah.
He really did.
So the deal is, we had the rule; it has to be under 7 minutes. But Anthony also created an extended version, which is 8.5 minutes that we're going to air instead of the shorter version, which is even funnier. And this is a really great segment. So listen now. First place winner, Anthony Trina and his friend Mike with Order of the iPod.
Harry, you're a wizard. Dumbledore's man, through and through.
What is up? Welcome to Order of the iPod. This is Mike.
And I'm Anthony.
And we got a special guest here today. We got the big man, the big dog, Harry Potter, sitting with us in New York City. What's happening, Harry? How are you, fellas? It's great to be here. I must say, my time in New York City has been very, very good, and I can't wait to hear what kind of questions you're going to ask me today. It's just getting me very excited.
Well, we definitely have some questions for you, Harry. Don't worry about that. We're going to kick it off right now with the very first one. What is one thing that you're looking forward to next year at Hogwarts?
Oh, next year. Well, I must say, the first thing that I'm looking forward to is getting rid of these darn glasses. I can't stand them, and I can't wait to get contact lenses. They keep falling off my face when I'm fighting dragons and things like that, and then everybody's just laughing at me when I do these things, and then they say mean things. That I look like John Lennon, and I don't even know what that means, but I know it's hurtful.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not right.
No, you gotta get to those contacts, Harry. You know what I'm saying? Represent. Alright. Now, what I want to know, and I know people want to know these things, is there's a little bit of love going in the air, so
how are things between you and Ginny Weasley? Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I must say that I'm really trying to keep myself pretty single these days and not so tied down to one person. As I know you Americans say in your hip-hop music, which I know you'll be able to relate to, I compare myself to 50 Cent because we are both a P-I-M-P, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I can't say it any better than that. Absolutely, man. You gotta be the P-I-M-P, man. So, what are your true feelings about Professor Snape? Well, over my time at Hogwarts, I've gotten to know Professor Snape very well, very personally, very closely, and I tell you, being that close to him is very tough because that man's breath is horrible. I gotta tell you, it is terrible. He's honestly, he smells like he beats a Bertie Bott's every flavored bean that's just poo flavored. All he eats is the poo flavored beans. He takes all the other ones, picks them out, throws them in the garbage, poo beans all day long. That's all the man eats, and it makes my nose hairs curl. It's horrible.
So he's poo breath. Professor Poo Breath.
Absolutely. He's Professor Poo Breath, and everybody knows it. And he's Professor Poo Face because he's ugly and smelly.
Well, that's definitely one person we will never interview then.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. What's up with Luna Lovegood? Does she really act that way? Because it seems like she has a little bit of Jessica Simpson there.
Well, absolutely. I have to agree with you, Anthony. I've caught her in her room doing calculus, studying Latin, and reading these extremely hard books, and then when I come in, I say, "Luna, what are you doing?" She shuts the books, looks at me, and says, "Harry, I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I don't know why I have these things in front of me. Who put them there?" And I say, "It's obvious, lady, that you are very smart. Why don't you just admit it?" She looks at you with this blank stare. "I'm stupid." It's really quite annoying, I've got to say.
Wow, that's definitely a great insight to Luna Lovegood.
You see, I knew it, Ann. She can't be that dumb.
Nobody is.
No.
Well, except for Jessica Simpson, of course.
Right.
But she's hot.
All right.
All right, next question. We're going to actually see if you can do any impersonations.
Oh, an impersonation. Absolutely. Okay, let me see. I've got a couple good ones. My favorite impersonation is my pal Ronald Weasley. And here we go. "Oh, Harry, I love Hermione. She's so pretty. She's so cute. I love her hair. I want to touch her hair. I want to rub her back." "All right, Ron, it's enough. We know you love her. We know you want to kiss her. We've had enough."
Yeah, Ron just needs to step up to the plate and get that done.
Just do what you gotta do, be a man, right?
Definitely. Well, Harry, we really appreciate the time that you've given us, but unfortunately that's all the time we have.
So you want to give any shout-outs to any people that you got back in Hogwarts or something, Harry? Absolutely. I'd love to give a big shout-out to the Order of the Phoenix. I know they're listening. And I want to say Dumbledore's army forever and Dumbledore's alive.
Oh, there you have it.
All right,
we
man.
just need to wrap it up right now.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Order of the iPod. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Mike.
All right, and we're back. Mike had to leave for a brief second, but I actually pulled Harry Potter back in. We're going to do a new segment we call the Listener Shout Out.
Ooh.
I know it's a little extra, but hopefully we'll get a couple extra minutes to do this segment. It's pretty fun. and we're going to actually pull people that have registered for on MuggleCast at the Tell Us Where You Live segment. So Harry's going to pull some names out, just kind of give a shout out to people that are out there.
All right, I'll do that, and I love when we do this fan appreciation stuff. First off, we have KT from London, England, Natalie W. from London, England. She loves Andrew. Go, Andrew. Also, we have Sarah Green from Oxford, England, and Cara from Edinburgh, Scotland. We also have Ricky Sutton from Edinburgh, Scotland.
We're going to take it back to the States now, actually where we're broadcasting from, Rockland County, New York. Who's out there?
We have Matt M. from Blauvelt, Val from Spring Valley, and Val says, Andrew rocks. Go, Andrew, you are the man. All right. We have Jessica Gordon from West Nyack, and finally, Emily Chang from Hartsdale, New York. She loves the MuggleCast. I'm glad you like it.
Thank you very much, Harry.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm off on my broom, and I'll see you at platform 9 3/4. Rock on, Hogwarts!
All right. Okay, so there you go. We hope everyone enjoyed it. Laura and Micah, I was in tears all over again.
Oh, I was too.
Yeah.
Laugh out loud funny. No, it was really good.
It really was.
So yeah. Second place winner will be next week. Third place, then honorable mention, and then fifth place. So this is gonna span out across a few weeks here. And then all the other segments, we know everyone put a lot of time in them, will be put together all into one show that is just the rest of the segments. So everyone has a chance to get their voices heard because, like I said, we know people put a lot of work into these. So we have to recognize
Most people put a lot of work into these.
Mm-hmm. And I forgot to mention that Anthony and Mike will both be winning a MuggleCast t-shirt on top of just being aired on MuggleCast. So congrats, guys. And you know what? I wouldn't mind hearing some more from them.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Segment-wise, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Definitely, of course.
They did a great
All right,
job.
well, thank you, Mike and Laura, once again, for helping me
problem.
judge this. It was rough, but we got through it. It was a lot of fun.
It was a battle, let me tell you.
Puking pastels. Does anybody want some puking pastels?
Pass them over here. All right, thanks, guys. Now let's head over to the voicemails. Kevin Steck gathered them for us this week, despite the fact he's not here.
Kevin.
Where is he again? He's like studying and stuff for college and
His differential homework.
He's working on a project. He wanted me to tell everyone.
Hi, this is Kim from Melbourne, Australia, and I was wondering, do you guys think that Lupin is a legilimens? Because there's a lot of mentioning, like, he says something and then it says, as if he read Harry's mind, and they mention that in Snape a lot, and we all know that Snape is a legilimens, so I was wondering if you guys thought there was anything to it. Thanks, I love your show.
I think it's cool how they, because Lupin did read Harry's mind too, but I think this is more to emphasize the fact that Lupin was so close to James and kind of really relates to Harry in the way that they both lost James and Lily and stuff. So I think when Lupin reads Harry's mind, I mean, I'm not going to rule out that Lupin is a legilimens, but I think usually when he reads his mind, especially in like book 3 and stuff, even though when other people read their mind, it's kind of like the omen of legitimacy. I think in the case of Lupin, it's just that he relates to him and can understand what he's going through.
Hi, MuggleCasters. This is Sarah from Massachusetts, and I have a question. What do you think Remus's role in the Order was in the last war, and what do you think his role in the Order is now? Thanks. I really love the show, and I'm a Girl Scout, so if you guys really want some cookies, you can get back to me on that one. I'll pay for it. Okay, thanks. Bye.
That wasn't me. That was my evil twin.
No, I'm pretty sure that
people
was...
are photoshopping me.
If they're low fat,
people are photoshopping me in a
please send me
dress.
cookies.
Okay, that's insane. And then somebody emailed me and said I'm a Girl Scout and we don't really wear dresses. And I was all like, I've offended people. And
Lupin's role in the war now. to transform into a werewolf and attack? I don't see
No, I don't know.
His role is to get
I
on
think
the...
he makes
Is
sure.
he involved in the war?
No, he provides chocolate for everyone.
Yeah. I don't really
Ben.
think he's involved in the war. Yes?
No, he's on the werewolf side now. He's on the...
Yeah, that's true.
He's underground, but I don't know what he was... I don't know what he was doing in the last war. Like, I doubt he was doing that because they would know that they couldn't trust him if he already bailed on them. I don't even know if he was in the last war because if you think about it, he was the same age as Lily and James. Was Lupin... Like, were they all old enough to really be in the war? I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. Lupin... In the first war, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know about the first war because Lily and James seem sort of be privileged and maybe Lupin, just out of Hogwarts, doesn't know what he's going to do with his life yet, that type of thing. I don't know.
Because, I mean, they just...
Do you remember, does anyone remember in Order of the Phoenix, was Lupin in the First Order?
I think he might have been.
Why wouldn't he have been?
Yeah, because it was like, it was Sirius, and it was, James and Lily. And wasn't there also a picture...
Well, why weren't Arthur and Molly Weasley in the Order the first time?
Well, that's a good question, and they're older, so...
And they're in the Weasley family.
So.
I mean,
yeah,
what relation do they have to the Order other than that Arthur was in the Ministry of Magic and he didn't have any... Well, did he have sons or daughters?
Well, according to Andrew, everyone, the W in Weasley is for worthless because
I think that they didn't have any connections back during the First War. So
I think that makes sense. And then once during the First War, Molly's brothers got blown away, so they needed to start choosing a side and making it clear.
So really, all it depends on basically is what your connections were at the time of the First War.
Hey, MuggleCasters, I'm Allie from Illinois, and I was wondering if being a werewolf could be passed on to your children. Like, if Lupin and Tonks have a child, would that child be a werewolf, or have werewolf-like qualities, like Bill Weasley suffers from? I'd love to know what you think. Thanks. Bye.
I think this is an interesting question because it reminds me of, once again, the Underworld series of movies, and I guess they made books out of them too. I have them right beside me.
Yeah, they have, but does the Underworld series, does it run on the same track of rules here as the ones in the Harry Potter books?
I actually don't know.
I feel like this question's been
what that would create. Well, it's interesting because I don't even think they answered the Underworld series, and that was my big question, and I think it seems to be the same big question, because if werewolf children, if the children of werewolves were also werewolves, then clearly there's two kinds of werewolves. There's the ones that were mortal, but then they were bitten, or then there's the ones that were born into it, and would they be stronger for being born into it, or what exactly would happen? And I don't know exactly, like, the werewolf qualities Bill Weasley suffers from. I think that's unique to his case, where he was just kind of scratched a bit. But, Allie from Illinois asks this question, and it's really questionable because you wonder if there's two different types of werewolves. There'd be like, if a mortal person, if a muggle was bit by a werewolf, or if a witch was bit by a werewolf, or if you were born into the werewolfhood. It's like this whole thing of stuff that's clearly, I don't think, ever going to be answered.
Can a werewolf be carried in your genes, though? The werewolf trait. And with that said, can it be carried in your blood?
I think I'm going to say that maybe if you make love in your human form, I guess, and maybe you just have a human baby. But if you make love during the full moon,
Well, was Tonks' mother or father a metamorphosis? Did that
That's
carry
a good
down
question.
through?
Well, Ted Tonks was a mother, so... I mean, Ted Tonks was a muggle. Ted Tonks was a
there you
muggle.
go.
So I doubt he was a metamorphosid. But
did
then
Andromeda have any weird traits in her?
Good question. That would be like saying, does Sirius...
Did it skip
but
a
then
generation? Was it...
Maybe. Sirius had to learn his animagi skills. So.
I'm going to have to lean more towards you would actually have to be bitten.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think that would keep it simple.
Whole genes thing, there'd probably be some plot mix-up between the characters or something.
Hi, MuggleCast guys. This is Venkali Faith from Pleasant Hill, California. In the 7th book, if Lupin fights and kills Greyback, would he be cured of being a werewolf, or will it stay with him even though the person who cursed him before is dead? Thank you.
God, another underworld-related question about werewolves. Darn this. There was a...
Stop.
I'm sorry, but there's this myth that says that, if the head werewolf was killed in all of them... I think it'll still happen. I don't think they'll turn back to normal. I think they'll still be werewolves, because there's no... It's not like a one major bloodline necessarily, like it kind of is, but I see no reason why the genes should subside just because somebody's dead. Like they kill the leader, I don't think that should change him but it's magic, so that might actually work.
But is there I don't know if isn't there an alpha wolf? If you know what I'm saying? The alpha, the ultimate wolf?
Is there an alpha wolf? A beta wolf, a delta wolf,
Omega
gamma
wolf?
I don't know. It seems stupid. I mean, it sort of relates to the whole secret keeper thing. It stays with you still.
Yeah, I think that's a good tie-in, Andrew.
Oh,
I like it.
Thanks.
It just stays.
It's like, how would you be related? Sure, it came from him, but how would you be directly connected to the point where if someone died who bit you, then you're automatically... I mean, in that case, Andrew Lupin would go after Greyback and kill him right away.
Or somebody else who didn't want to be a werewolf would surely have tried to kill Greyback years ago.
Yeah.
Also, Andrew, related to AIDS too, any kind of disease, the person who dies, clearly it doesn't cure AIDS. So.
And wouldn't Greyback... where did Greybacks come from? And one of Greyback's things made dead now. So, it definitely stays with you.
It all comes to... what came first, the chicken or the egg?
That doesn't really come down to that, because the chicken died anyway, so... And the egg still survived.
This is Tyler from Lancaster. I was wondering... This doesn't completely have to do with Professor Lupin, but I was wondering what you think would happen if someone turned into a werewolf, but they were also an anime guy, and they turned into a different animal, if the werewolf instinct would have control, or if they would regain control. Thank you. Bye.
Jeez. No, I think you would just... If you turned into your animagus form, and then the full moon came out, I would think you would just turn into a werewolf.
I agree. I think you still would. But that's, the same reason Lupin didn't turn into an animagus, too. It wouldn't have really helped him, I think. Plus, it would just be... he already turned into an animal. You don't need to turn into another animal. And what if his animagi were a werewolf?
Yeah, and you start as a human. So, we'll take, for example, Lupin starts as a human, and when the full moon comes out, he turns into a werewolf. Wouldn't the same thing apply where if you're an animal? Whatever you are, you turn into a werewolf.
So, there can be rabbits that turn into werewolves in the full moon?
If they were bitten? Sure.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Andrew, did you get that from your pattern?
No, I got that from my new book on podcasting.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm from Florida. I have a question about J.K. Rowling's new fact poll that she posted. She said that if a secret keeper dies, the secret dies with them. Does this mean that if someone has not been to, for example, Grimmauld Place, then no one else will ever be able to go since Dumbledore has already died? And also, if Harry wants to go to Godric's Hollow to see his family's old house, since Wormtail was the secret keeper, would he have to get this secret from Wormtail to be able to go there? That's all. Thank you.
In relation to the second part, the Wormtail secret keeper, the secret was that the Potters resided in Godric's Hollow, so I think it would probably be the case where Harry could find Godric's Hollow, but he just wouldn't be able to find Lily and James, if you know what I'm talking about. But if they were all...
No, because the thing... Okay, Lily and James have already died, so I think the charm is gone since they're dead.
It was to protect them. But even if it wasn't, he could still find Godric's Hollow, I think, because the secret wasn't...
The charm was not on, like Grimmauld Place.
Yeah, like
right.
Grimmauld Place, it was on Grimmauld Place, so now that's the question.
Right.
Because Hagrid's been to the house, too. So why couldn't Harry find it?
No, Harry could find it, but he couldn't tell anybody else. See, when J.K.R. just clarified, I guess I'm glad she did, the Fidelius charm, she said that none of the people who knew it... Wait, could they... I don't even think they could tell people. Like, I think only the Secret Keeper could tell more people, right?
Well, they could tell him,
Right.
but they still wouldn't be able to find him.
Yeah, so that's even interesting. So now the only people who could see Grimmauld Place ever would be the people who...
But weren't they planning to ditch Grimmauld Place anyway?
But no, another thing is, I think... Okay, Dumbledore cast the charm to create to make himself the Secret Keeper. So if that's the case, and he's dead now, then the charm would be broken, just like we saw when Dumbledore died, the charm was broken off Harry, right?
No, but the charm's not broken, the Fidelius charm, but I just thought of something else. The Fidelius charm was not for Grimmauld Place, if you read it carefully. It's for the location of the Order of the Phoenix. So, actually, the house might not have died with Dumbledore, per se. It just, the secret... Because the secret was that the Order of the Phoenix resides at 12 Grimmauld Place. I think the fact that it disappeared and was in the middle of those houses was another charm entirely.
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely. Well, we do believe that wraps up this week's episode of MuggleCast, episode 29. Eric was really kicking butt this week. We're sorry, everyone. We were a little down in the dumps. It was a rough week. I've been in New York City all day. Ben actually had some physical activity. Micah was in the city, too, although we didn't run into each other. But good job, Eric, saving all our butts. We have some big plans for future episodes. We'll talk about that in detail next week. I'm actually pretty excited about it.
Yeah, not willingly. I was like, guys, what do you think about this? Hey, Mooney as a teen. And you were all like...
We're all beat, and you're like, yeah, Remus,
Sure.
sleep, Remus.
Well, because the fans were waiting for it, and that made me passionate about it. I mean, ever since episode 13 and everybody... Oh, Andrew, thank God you're here. Can you clarify that they will not get the original footage of 13? There isn't even original footage. In fact, the original 13 is the one we have. People want the footage from what was going to be 13 when we talked about Lupin the first time. Can you assure them that we never even had that
Yes,
footage?
but Eric, I can.
Or is there like a secret cast that's going to, be released?
Send me $20 and I'll mail you the secret show. Does that work for you, Eric?
Because, no, but people are asking, because, I hope that this Lupin episode satisfied the people who wanted to hear about Lupin.
So next week for episode 30, we will bring you... it's so unexpected, I can't even tell you. I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Ben Shane.
I'm Eric Skull, and I wish people would talk as much as I do.
I'm Micah Tannenbaum.
And I'm Micah Tannenbaum. We'll see everyone next week.
Hi, this is Colin from Pennsylvania, and I want to say that I really, really, really like your show. It's the best, and I listen to it every week. I can't wait for every episode. And Laura, I like you the best. Sorry, guys. All right, bye.
Hi, this is Rebecca from Pennsylvania, and I just wanted to say that I love your show, and you guys have inspired me to make my own podcast called Media Shake. So thanks, and keep up the great work. Go, Laura!
Hey, this is Jeffrey from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I just finished listening to episode 28, and all I have to say is, yeah! I'm Andrew. I talk with my mouth full of Sim.
Hi, this is Nagia from New Jersey, and I've been a listener ever since you guys first started in, August, and I think you guys rock, and been saying you have the most highest voice in the world, and so keep up the good work. Bye.
Hey, this is Mary from Delta, Colorado, and I wanted to give a shout-out to all the Delta people. If any of you guys listen to MuggleCast, you need to come talk to me. All right, bye.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm from Panama City Beach, Florida. And I'm Natasha, and I'm from Panama City Beach, Florida. And I must go out to the noble world and do noble things for the good of all. And you can't come because you don't speak French!
Micah, was that you who just parked at the news center with your Jag?
What does that have to do with anything in this world that just
Jewish
happened?
rich people. I wanted to prove that they were all rich. Never mind. Forget it.
Jeez.
No, but I just wanted to mention this before we move on. This dude's from Lancaster, the guy who just did the voicemail. Tyler from Lancaster. I think they got an email from him, and so that's pretty cool. Pennsylvanians unite.
Amish people everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere you look. Long beards and top hats.
Yes.
And horses.
How does this guy have a computer? He must be shunned.
Yeah. He's been banned, so he listens to the show now.
Secretly hide it in his closet.
Hershey's chocolate, Hershey's chocolate, Hershey's chocolate world. It's a place where they are.
Can we stop recording?
Okay. Talk amongst yourselves.
This is Robert Langdon. I teach symbology. The suspect called him.
From the author of the Da Vinci Code.
He wants me to locate an ancient portal.
We have to finish this, or my dad is dead.
Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. Streaming now with new episodes every Thursday. Only on Peacock.